What's going on YouTube? You've joined me out here in my John Deere junkyard, but that's not what today's video is about. So let's get over to the garage and figure out what we got going on today. Alright, we're not working on the 318 today. We're not working on the 322, even though that needs a lot of work. Today, we got the 300. It's been sitting for about a year. It stopped running for some reason, so we're going to try and figure that out and see if we can get it going today. But first, we need to get these ones out of the way. Alright, I just had an idea. We're going to use the 322 to pull out the 300 so we can have a little more light. For anyone that doesn't know, the John Deere 300 was the first tractor of the John Deere 300 series. It was made from 1975 to 1977. This one here is a 1975. They have a single cylinder Kohler motor, and of course they have all the same hydraulic outputs and the hydraulic lift deck that the 318 have, but no power steering. I bought my John Deere 300 in the spring of 2023. I bought it because I wanted to do a restoration project on my 322, but I used this for a couple months and then it stopped working on me, so then I had to put the 322 back into action. Now I want to start working on the 322 again. So let's dig into this 300 and see what's wrong with it. Alright. Let's see here. We obviously need a new battery, and the cables are looking terrible, and you know, you gotta love a black positive cable. So we'll have to replace those. And then I know it needs an oil change and the carb cleaning, and we'll just dig in and see what else we find. Let's get these side covers off first. All right. Now we need to get the air cleaner cover off. Now we can take this plate off. Right, go the right way. And there we have the carburetor. Alright, we got the carb all cleaned up and put back together. I just did a time lapse in this video because this video is going to be very long, so I decided to make a separate full video of doing the carb cleaning on this, which I'll link right here. But I am waiting for a new air cleaner, and I'm gonna paint the cover for this, I think. So I think we'll just get on to doing an oil change on this now. I usually like to do the oil change when the oil is warm, obviously, but I think part of the reason why this quit working was because the carburetor needle wasn't seating correctly, or it was stuck, and then fuel was getting into the crankcase through the carb. Let me know in the comments if that even makes sense. I don't want to start it with the oil that's in it now. I believe that it's got fuel in it. So let's get that old oil out, get some fresh oil in, and then we'll move on to the battery. To change the oil on this 300, there is a nut here that you gotta twist, and then that opens up a valve. So we'll put a hose on this and hopefully catch all the oil down here. Obviously that would be much easier without the deck on there, but I'm not going to take that off to do this, so we'll do it the hard way. It's going to be a little hard to film with everything in the way, so I'll probably just put you guys on the outside and get set up. This is my hose setup. I just had this piece of hose laying around. I'll have to direct it into the oil pan here, of course. All right, let's get this oil out. This is a 13/16 socket. The guy that I bought this from had just done full service on this, so this is the first time I've changed the oil on this, so I don't know how this is going to go. Doesn't appear to be releasing yet. Oh, does that have to turn? It looks like it's threaded on the inside. Oh, yeah. Here we go. If you're doing an oil change on one of these, I released that nut on the bottom, and then I had to spin the plunger to get it to open up, and now it's draining. Looks like the oil is done draining. So let's tighten this back up. Never see that again. That's what I was afraid of. Interesting. Oh well. That's gonna be a problem for next time. Now we need to fill the oil through that filler. It takes 1.5 quarts. I'm just using just a standard SAE 30. And we'll check the level again once it's running and warmed up. All right, we got the oil change all done. So now let's move on to the battery and getting those new cables hooked up. As you can see, these cables are all pretty beat up. I know it had an issue with starting because the terminals kept on coming loose. Obviously the negative one is pretty easy, it's right there. But the positive one connects down there under the tray. So we're gonna get this tray out and get that new cable on there. Taking this tray out is pretty easy. It's just these 4 bolts here. Over on this side I do have a bent bolt, so I might have to cut that to get that nut off of there. And then there's one bracket on the back side. I'm going to use a channel locks to hold the sensor. And it looks like the nut's turning in the inside. There we go. Got my Dremel here. Let's see if that's enough to cut this off. That carriage bolt keeps spinning in there, so let's see if we can grab onto it with a vice grip. Nailed it. Now that that tray is gone, we have access to where the positive cable connects. So let's get that off of there and get the new ones on. That's a 1/2 inch nut on there. Right, and then the negative cable, ground cable, is a 7/16. Here's our new ground cable. And here's our new, actually red, positive cable. Alright, there's the new cables in, and now I've got all these parts out, so might as well take advantage of them being out of the tractor right now and get them painted up and looking new again. It's been a couple days, but we got our parts all painted up. If you noticed in the time elapse, there was a couple seat brackets also. I will be doing a little bit more work on this in a future video, so if you want to see how this tractor turns out, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that. I also got the air cleaner and a spark plug, so I think we're ready to get this thing back together. Okay, we'll just hang the air cleaner on there. Put the cover back on. Dang, looking good. Now we gotta get this battery tray in here, so we're gonna get these cables out of the way. Alright. That looks lined up now. Alright. Alright. Now I'll go grab the battery. It's probably not the right size battery, but it fits, so I'll use it. It is a Group 26R. But I'm not gonna connect it yet because I'm gonna do the spark plug first. We'll get the spark plug changed now. Remove the wire. There's a little dust cover. All right, let's get this spark plug out. I got my spark plug socket. It is a 3/16, and actually the top of the spark plug is too wide for the spark plug socket, so I'll just grab a regular 3/16. All right, this is a pretty shallow mounted spark plug, so I don't need to worry about the socket holding the spark plug on. So I'm just going to be really careful with a normal socket to take this off. And we'll actually just loosen it and take it off by hand. Ooh, she's richer than Bill Gates. Let's get the new spark plug out. And that is not the same spark plug. Nope. I guess I didn't even... Nope, they just sent me the wrong one. This is supposed to be an H10C. But luckily for me, I bought a backup because I thought this might happen. I was planning to use a Champion because that's what came in them originally, but I do have this NGK, so we'll see if this one looks right. Yeah, that one looks much better. And you can see it's a replacement for the H10C, so that should work. Before we put the spark plug back in, just for kicks, I'm going to run a compression check on it. We'll see if this motor's even healthy. But first, I will have to hook up the battery. Okay, I like to do a little dielectric grease on the battery terminals. Should usually put the negative on last. All right, we've got our compression tester here. All right. And we lost our light. Okay, it's showing about 130 psi, so that's actually pretty high for one of these. So hopefully that means it's good and it doesn't have like carbon buildup or something like that. But I think we'll put it back together and find out. We'll put our new spark plug in. Want to thread them in by hand most of the way, make sure it's not cross-threaded or that there's anything in the threads. You should be able to run it all the way down until it's pretty tight with just your hands. And then just snug with the wrench. You don't want to strip out the threads on the head, of course. And then we'll just put a little bit of dielectric grease onto there. Okay, we'll put the dust cover back on, and then spark plug wire, and maybe we can try to start this thing. Okay, I got you on top of the motor looking down at the carb. First thing we're gonna do is run the adjustment screws all the way in. Just finger tight. We don't want to over tighten them, but I can't get in there with my fingers. Probably should have waited to put the air cleaner on, but that's okay. So yeah, we just want to lightly run these down until they're snug. This top one is the high speed adjustment screw. We want to take that out, and we want to take that out 1.5 turns. So that's 1.5. This lower one kind of on the side here is the idle mixture screw. We just want to turn that out 1/2 of a turn. Now we'll start it and then just make slow adjustments to those. We'll run it all the way up to full throttle and then adjust this one just 1/8 turn at a time. until it runs smoothly, and then we will drop the idle and then run this one in or out a half a turn or an eighth of a turn at a time until it idles smoothly. Let's see if this starts. All right, here goes nothing. Ooh, that was something. We're a little close. I actually have no idea if this has any good gas in it. So maybe we should check that. Okay, I put some gas in it. Now let's try this again. That was something. We have a leak. We have developed a leak. I will investigate that and get back to you. I've been tinkering around with this thing for about 15-20 minutes now, and I think I got it running pretty good now. Also, it looks like that diaphragm and the fuel pump must have just dried up a little bit, because it seems like the fuel leak has stopped now. I believe all this grime here is must be a little oil leak up there. It looks pretty wet right now. So we'll have to dig into that at a later date. But yeah, all it took I mean, hopefully it's not just because I took the air cleaner off, but now it runs without the choke on. I had to adjust this screw out, maybe another turn, and about the same for the idle screw. And now I think it's running pretty good. So let's show you guys how it runs. All right, there you can see that it's running and idling without any choke on, so it's pretty good. You'll have to remember that these are a single cylinder motor, so if they run a little bit rough at idle, that's to be expected. And they usually smooth out really nice at higher RPM, which this one does. I don't know if you saw my battery vibrating around in there. I gotta get a hold down for that. Might just use a ratchet strap for now. All right, we got it all running again, which is awesome. It's actually quite a relief to see this thing running again. I have a lot more planned for this tractor, so please hit subscribe if you want to see how this project turns out. I really appreciate you watching. Have a great day. I did want to show you guys that this thing does still run with the air cover on too.